Hi there, welcome back. Before I get started, let me thank all of you who attended the live coaching that I hosted last night. Late night for me. Late night for me. If you missed it and you would like to attend a live coaching with me, I have another one coming up this Sunday, June 29th at 2 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. There will be a link in the description box below this video where you can get registered to attend that. It will not be recorded, so you will be required to attend the live because we are talking about hot, juicy topics. We're talking about aging, menopause, adult children who are parenting or adult children of ours where maybe the relationship is a little compromised, or maybe you're stepping on toes or they're stepping on toes. Menopause, we're talking all the things, and it gets very personal and private, and that is why it is not recorded and it is required to attend the live. So I would love for you to join me this coming Sunday, again, 2 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. Please check your time zone conversion. Well, a couple of weeks ago on Instagram stories, I talked about laxity in our skin, aging skin, and this came from a comment or kind of comment question on a YouTube Shorts. Anne put goal. Find product for anti-aging so my neck doesn't look like I'm 90. Let me read what I replied, and then we'll dive into the Instagram stories that I shared that day where I took a poll asking my Instagram viewers if they wanted me to save the stories for a YouTube video so you could notepad it and refer back to it. So here's my reply. Plastic surgery is the only way to combat extra skin, and extra skin is usually the culprit. No lotion, potion, needle, or instrument will give the results women are looking for. And again, she is talking about anti-aging for her neck so it does not look like it's 90. Thank you, Anne, for prompting a really big topic, I feel like, because I believe so many women are disappointed often with the results from anti-aging products. Number one, they're always looking for something new and better. But I unpack it and I speak the truth. If you ever find yourself on the fence about something because you hear about it, it's the latest and greatest, it's all the rage, kind of like diet. We hear this all the time with diet. Speaking of diet, my stomach just growled because I haven't eaten yet. And it's pretty early. It's 8:26 and typically I've eaten a meal by now. But I didn't train this morning, so I'm extending it a little bit longer. But I think it's important to have a video library where you can house videos that maybe educate you or give you another perspective to dial it in. And I do that, and I talk more about that in Instagram stories. So I don't want to waste any more time here. Let's dive into my Instagram stories from a couple of weeks ago. Morning, little pimple and a little bit red still. I had micro needling done 2 days ago. I do micro needling about every other month about every other month, I would say, or every quarter. My next one is in September, and I am now doing it yearly. So this is my second year doing it every 2 to 3 months yearly. But anyway, 7 hours ago on one of my YouTube shorts, Anne put goal, find product for anti-aging so my neck doesn't look like I'm 90. Well, I am all about products for anti-aging. Love them. Active ingredients. Make sure they're active ingredients so they're doing something. It makes no sense just putting something on the skin that is not actually going to seep into the skin, right? It's just sitting there. You may as well just put a Band-Aid on and cross your fingers, right? Kind of like buying a lottery ticket, right? Just put Band-Aids on and then just take them off, right? It's kind of the same thing. Nothing's going to happen. So I'm all about anti-aging products as early as possible because the compound effect of everything we do, right? Everything we do, whether it's positive or negative, will show up. It will show up. It's almost every time Paul and I have to walk in the afternoon or evening, I am so slathered because I can't wear leggings. When it's hot, when I work out, I am a shorts girl. It slows me down to wear leggings. Another reason why I love working out from home, I don't mind wearing my little shorts when I walk, but if it's warm, like we walked in the afternoon yesterday, the feels like was already in the low 80s, but I am slathered, slathered in sunscreen, and I just can't. But thank you to the 2 women who commented on my recent empties, I think it was, video. 2 women recommended the same sunscreen and I bought it and I've been using it. And it is a gem. It's great because it doesn't have the texture and feel like the ones that I was using up. So thank you for that. Stay put. I will put the sunscreen in here in a minute. The other thing I like is it doesn't leave the white cast. But okay, I'm out walking. I have shorts on. Now in the morning when we go, it's only in the 50s. I think today it may be low 60s when we walk at the time we have scheduled. But often right now, we've had the funkiest weather here in Michigan. I don't know if you have where you are watching from, but we've had just really funky. We didn't have a good spring. And although it's not officially summer, technically, we're not having great weather in June either. But so the morning walks are great. I wear leggings, sometimes gloves. Still, yes. But the afternoon, if it heats up, I need to be in shorts or it will slow me down and I am miserable. But I am slathered, slathered. I mean, you are seeing a little bit. I will share. Kirsten and I walked last Sunday and I did not put SPF on, and I believe that's where all that came from. And I had anxiety the whole time because I protect my skin. And I say all the time to Paul, I'm a broken record, when we walk, this better show up later in life that I have slathered myself with sunscreen. Okay. I would say my neck and décolleté, while definitely aging, my décolleté still looks really good. But skin, gravity, right? Skin is the issue when you're in your 50s. It's not the fine lines, wrinkles. It's the excess skin of just years of gravity. If you're not using sunscreen, don't bother with anti-aging products though. Don't even bother because you're just combating it. So you're spending money here with anti-aging products, but then you're just allowing the sun in to damage that skin. So that's just my thoughts. I mean, you do you, but you really are combating what you're doing. It's kind of like, I wouldn't say stop exercising if you have a poor diet, but as you know, if you want to see, I'm talking visually see the results, you won't if your diet's poor. You won't if your diet's poor. You may feel stronger, but you won't see the results if the diet isn't aligning with all the work you're putting in over here, right? And even I know that. I take a couple celebratory meals, I'm covered with a layer of fat. But let's go back to Anne's question before I put the sunscreen in here. Goal, she says, find product for anti-aging so my neck doesn't look like I'm 90. I speak truth. People don't always like it, okay? But I am not willing to blow smoke. I'm just not. I will say this even at my skin spa, right to their faces, right to their faces, if they ever try to tell me something will take care of this skin. Okay? I'll just come back and say, no, you're wrong. But you go ahead and believe that and promote that. Whatever. And I don't get that because they know better with me. I have too many years under my belt going there. Here's what I replied. Here's the truth. And I think if you think about it, I don't think most people think about it. Logically and rationally think about this. Can you tighten skin? You can't. You can't. If you could, I would have. Believe me, I would have. Because I have the compound effect of doing everything starting in my 20s, if not in my teens, that would show that I could tighten skin. Okay? Can you make an impact with fine lines and wrinkles? Yes, starting it on anti-aging products and using a sunscreen, avoiding the sun. And if you are in the sun, again, sunscreen, hat, sunglasses, all the things. But it's skin. It cannot be tightened. Let it sink in. Let it sink in. Okay? Here's my reply. Plastic surgery. I know. I don't love it either. I don't love the fact that that is the only modality. I don't love it. I don't love it because of, not only because of cost. Sign me up. Sign me up. Put the IV in today. Let's rock and roll and get this surgery done. No fears around that. I don't want to spend my money there. I just don't. Right? But I know that I would have to if I wanted the excess skin taken care of. Plastic surgery is the only way to combat extra skin, and I'm sure that's one of her biggest issues. I proceeded to say an extra skin is usually the culprit because she didn't say décolleté. She said neck. So here's the neck. If she said décolleté, because for some people their skin is really sagging here, but I'm smooth. I'm super smooth here. I do have some fine lines etched in there, probably from being a side sleeper, see? And just choosing to never, I guess, correct that. But she said neck. So my guess is it's the extra skin, right? It's loose skin here. It's not as thick and dense like other areas of our body, and that's why it sags so much, kind of like our hands age rapidly because the skin is so thin on our hands, so it makes perfect sense. I'm getting closer. That's not pretty. Let's add on. No lotion, potion, needle, or instrument will give the results women are looking for. Praise the Lord, someone's out there saying it and speaking truth. Now, we all have areas where we express ourselves more. If you use your forehead when you are expressive, look at my forehead, barely moving because we're a couple weeks in on Botox. Love it. I always have this little spot, but it keeps it natural, right? And I like a little movement. You can see I have a slight movement. That is always the goal. I'm not completely movement free, but fortunately, I've been getting Botox so long, so how would I know? I'm not expressive up here, but I have been down in this area and it shows. I'm also, and believe it or not, some people are expressive with the muscles in their neck. I am. I shouldn't be in video. It's not pretty. Next time you watch one of my videos, watch my neck. I'm very expressive with those muscles. Now, surgery won't correct that because it's a muscle thing. You can get Botox to calm these muscles down. I've tried it, but because I'm so forceful with those emotions, I broke that Botox down so fast I didn't even know that I got it. It wasn't worth it. The return on investment wasn't worth it for me. That's what will happen to you if you're in your 40s or 50s and just now wanting to get Botox because you're so expressive up here. Because you have so many years, again, compound effect, of heavily using these muscles, you're so programmed to use them that your Botox will probably break down sooner. That is why we're all on a different Botox plan. I can go 4 months. Many women my age cannot, but I started early and I stayed with it consistently, never stopped. So even if I were someone who would use these muscles, I started taming them so early in my life, I never got to a place that I could ever form the habit of using them. Okay? If you're really expressive down here, there's places you can put Botox to tame that. The earlier you tame using those muscles in your expression, well, the less etching will take place, which means your fine lines and wrinkles, because you're not using them. That's why I'm very smooth up here, minus I have a little chickenpox scar. But I'm very smooth up here because no etchings had the compound effect to get etched in, right? Get etched in. I mean, I have a daughter who is very expressive up here, and she already has etchings, and she's not even 30 yet. So she'd be a great candidate. If she chose, I would never tell her, never, unless she asked. But she'd be, and it's costly to keep up with that, but she'd be a great candidate to start early in this area. But taming these muscles for me did me no good because I have so many years of using them. I'm a very expressive, passionate speaker. So it kind of goes with that lens. Also, I wasn't really heard as a child. So I'm sure even in my childhood, I was so violently or viciously trying to express myself because I wasn't being heard. I probably formed it in my childhood. Okay, so again, the compound effect. Skin is a different story, okay? And Botox doesn't do anything for your skin, and it's not a filler. Although, yes, there's something being injected. It's not a filler. Nothing is being plumped. There's no plumping with Botox. So if skin is your issue, laxity, okay? No lotion, no potion, no needle or instrument will take care of skin, okay? Now, if you have a lot of excess skin down here like I do, and you get cheek filler, which I do not have, even if people think I do, when they fill this, it will lift, and you won't see that extra skin anymore. I no longer do filler because that was a great thing to do in a season. I am now in the season of pretty much plastic surgery would be the only modality at this stage. Again, 40s and 30s and 20s, very different. And believe it or not, I do have the money to pay for it if I'd like. I could choose to put my money there. I could do that. I've lived my life and saved my money to put me in a position where I have options. The beautiful thing about money is it gives you freedom and it gives you options. You savers out there, you know, investors, savers, whatever your investment modality is, you would all agree it provides freedom and opportunity. The opportunity is I get to decide now where I would put that. I keep getting closer. I'm so sorry for that. I would not get something done if it required a payment plan from me because I didn't have the money up front. But that's a whole different topic because that's more finances, budgeting, investing, compound effect, right? But it's so important to just know the truth because There definitely is lotions and potions that will do some good for our skin, especially the texture. So skin texture and tone are completely different than excess skin. They're not even completely, okay? You have texture in a category. You have skin tone in a category, like your dark spots maybe, under eye circles, whatever. And then you have actual excess skin, all different things. When thinking about where you want to put your dollar and your time, because it takes time to go to these appointments or time just to shop for your products or do the research for products, identify what am I trying to combat? Is it texture? Is it tone? Or is it skin, excess skin, laxity? Texture and tone, I'm not saying that lotions, potions, needles, and instruments, when I say instruments, it would be like a laser device. It would be like a micro needling device, okay? I'm not saying that those aren't options, because they definitely are for combating those, but you also have to be careful if you're a lean woman as you get older with some of these instruments especially. An advantage, not one I would partake in, but an advantage that heavier, overweight, or obese women have, and men, is because of all the fat they're carrying, they actually look more youthful, okay, because they have the extra fat. We are us lean women, okay, who choose to manage a lower weight, to manage a lower fat percentage. It's going to show in our face as well. So often the laxity will show up more because we don't have the fat in there to plump it out like someone who is heavy, overweight, or obese. Be careful with the lasers because some of the lasers will actually get to the fat layer. So if we start dissolving fat in an already pretty fatless face like mine, now I'm going to look gaunt, right? Now I'm going to look gaunt. It's not going to be pleasant. So always think about your season as well. Again, 50s for me, the landscape looks much different than 40s and 30s. And most things I've done in the past, I've been pleased with because I was in that season. I have done things I wouldn't waste my money on. Like I said, the Botox in these bands here. But that doesn't mean this couldn't be good for someone else because maybe they don't have the compound effect of using those muscles. So everyone is going to look different. There's no one menu for everyone. Everyone has their own menu to choose from of what they're going to get to combat what you're trying to troubleshoot or mitigate, okay? For me, okay, so let's go into microneedling. Microneedling, the reason I love microneedling really is because it can help with fine lines and wrinkles, okay? It can soften them, not dissolve them or take care of them, but it can soften. I would say the acne scars that I walked away from my teen years, I'm a completely different face. And that is years of doing things, even like lasers, microneedling. Way back in the day, old stuff that they used to do, I can't even think of what they were called. All the active ingredients, because of the compound effect, I don't have near the acne scars that I did early on. I also don't have a ton of fine lines and wrinkles. I do, but it's more the laxity. If we took care of that, things would smooth out significantly because it's the skin that needs to be removed, okay? It's the skin. It's the skin issue, especially this portion of my face. This down here, the mid to lower is really the culprit. And I lasers, no way, because I don't want to get to the fat layer. Microneedling doesn't go that deep. And So it's softening things, especially if you continue with it, and it stimulates collagen. So every couple of months, I am getting a major surge of collagen stimulation that I would never get with my anti-aging at home products, if that makes sense. So I could talk so in depth with someone. If do a coaching call with me. I'm not a doctor and I would not advise you what to do. I could literally walk you through options when you shared with me what your areas of concern are or the areas you want to troubleshoot or mitigate. Okay. Because I have no skin in the game. I don't make any money on this. So that's why you always have to be careful, even seeing a plastic surgeon, even seeing someone in your medical skin spa. They have a leg in, and I support that. I work in sales. My job at the end of the day is all about selling. It's all about selling to you guys. That's the only way I get paid. I have no pension, no 401k, no health insurance with what I do. It's highs and lows. You never know what you're going to make because I'm only sales based. I have no salary and then let's add on your commissions. No, it's all sale based. I get no kickback regardless of what you choose to do. So I have no bias or no leg in to try to make a profit. So that's another thing. That's why you have to be educated. You have to be your own advocate. So when you walk into a plastic surgeon's office, I'd own that consultation. I would own it because I already know what I need. I already know my troubled areas. So I'm going to go in there and we're not going to waste anyone's time. These are the areas of concern. I'm at the perfect sweet spot to get work done, get plastic surgery done. I'm at that perfect age, which I am. That's why it's so unfortunate because do I pull that trigger? And I just don't know yet. I don't know yet if that's the trigger I want to pull. But I know that I would not be persuaded. I have been told, Morpheus or Morpheus 8, maybe in your 40s, but not this girl. That would be such a poor decision with me. Now, that doesn't mean if you're 54, it may not be a good decision for you. I don't have that answer, and I don't know what the landscape is like, what your concerns are, right? But with my small face, with not a lot of fat going on, I think lasers, unless it's just topically resurface, which maybe is something I would do while under anesthesia for plastic surgery. They're all different. You have to get educated on each laser, each instrument, each potion, lotion, needle. But at the end of the day, if it's laxity, okay, so microneedling doesn't do anything for laxity. It stimulates collagen. It can soften fine lines and wrinkles if you're doing it if the compound effect. I'm not saying I wouldn't recommend it if you were getting ready for something, but that's a whole different landscape, and we could talk about that even in coaching, and you could talk about that with your providers that you see. But if it's excess skin, like what I deal with, there is nothing, no lotion, no potion, no needle or instrument that will give the results women are looking for because it's simply a skin issue and it requires skin removal. I can't lay it out there any better than that. I just cannot lay it out there any better than that. If you have had multiple pregnancies, if you have been significantly obese but then lost all the weight and now you're like a pretty small person, you probably have a lot of excess skin in many areas, but especially your abdominal area. Now, those of you who have had multiple pregnancies and then decided to choose, because it is a choice, to manage your weight, get to a lower weight, a lower body fat percentage, and be a smaller person, you are probably left, especially if you put on a lot of weight in your pregnancy, excess skin. You would know if you're working out that you're very toned and muscular, but yet you have this excess skin. So you already know that it doesn't matter what I do. The only way to get rid of that excess skin would be via surgery. It would require skin removal. And then you may even see the muscles, the hard work that you did. You may see your muscles. Probably you will, especially if you had a full tummy tuck, if that is what was recommended for you based on how much skin removal needed to take place. So it is a skin issue. No lotion, no potion, no needle or instrument will change and tighten that skin. It's impossible. Again, if you think logically think, rationally think, you'll be like, oh my gosh, this makes perfect sense. I just have never thought it through this way. Now you don't need to. I did all the thinking for you. Now you know. So now you decide what this looks like for you today or down the road. Because what that looks like today or down the road is going to determine how you're going to save. And the compound effect of that saving will give you freedom and opportunity to decide if that is an area you want to put your money. And because you have the money, no judgment, no waste of money, because the compound effect of saving for it. So maybe every time you get the itch to do an instrument that could cost you $3,000 to $5,000, being hopeful that it's going to give you the results you want, and you may see some results in the short term, but every time it even prompts in your mind, you take that $3,000 to $5,000 and you put it in a special account, hopefully an account where you can make some money on it, like investing. Think about the compound effect of that building up over time. And then if you do elect to use the modality of plastic surgery for the skin removal, you'll have the freedom and you'll have the opportunity. Wow, this message came out so much how I envisioned and wanted to. Thank you, Lord. I always give him all the glory when my messages are delivered in a way that I want them to, because not all messages do, because I just run off the cusp. So I always give glory to him and praise to him because he works through me. And now I just shared about him, which is something he has called me to do. And again, he's working through me. I'm not even coming up with these words about him. He is. And he's just using me as the messenger, which is something that I am called to do. And so are you. Now you may be thinking, well, wow, I've seen women that are in their 70s, let's say, and their face is smooth. And, obviously they did the work at some point. Earlier is better than later because it will look more natural. It will look more natural to the eye looking at you. If I did plastic surgery today, it's highly unlikely, unless I shared it, and I would because I'm comfortable in my skin, and I don't care. Like, I know me. That is never an issue either. That would never hold me back, is what people think. It's a beautiful place to be. I hope you can get there if you can't work with a coach. Where am I going? Oh no, Tracy. Okay, mental pausing. Hold on, it's coming. It's coming, it will come. But they're very, very smooth, and then you can see the aging down here. Well, even in plastic surgery, now, I can't solidly say this because I'm not a plastic surgeon, so I'm just going off of my own thoughts and beliefs. I believe they're a little limited on how much they can do here, but if we're removing skin on Tracy, okay, from the mid-face down, whatever they would call that, if they're taking, excess skin here, I'm pretty sure they can go up, right? They can go, if they can pull down and remove excess skin, we can go up and remove excess skin. So see how much more lifted that is when we do that, right? See that? Yeah, beautiful, beautiful. I know women my age who have done plastic surgery already, and they look very natural because they did it early. Now, I may be able to tell, and again, I'm still guessing because if they haven't shared, but I have a good eye for it. I have a really good eye for it. And no judgment. If anything, I'm jealous in a good way. Yeah, there's a good jealousy. Like, I want what you have. I want what you have. Not spirited envy. So, which is not living our godly duty, right? But people do it. I can kind of tell, and yeah, their neck looks great, their face looks great, but they don't look super tugged and pulled because they did it early enough. That is why I feel like I am at the sweet spot. Like, it's perfect timing, right? And it's just a matter of making a decision, right? And really right now, I'm not even about making that decision. I've got too many other things, too many candles burning, too many balls in the air right now that it's not even something on my radar or my thoughts. Well, it's kind of on my radar, but it's in the back part. You know, I always say we're juggling balls up here, but it doesn't mean that we don't have these lofty goals back here that we need to kind of keep in the head. Don't dispose of them, because that right there is what's creating us to manage our time, manage our life, manage our money, manage our relationships, whatever it is. Such a great message. I am going to, once again, like I do sometimes, ask you, my beautiful, beautiful audience, my beautiful, beautiful people, if you would like me to save this whole series, this message in a YouTube video, because then you can listen to it after the 7 days. So again, I will save all of this in the Thursday highlight bubble, but next Thursday, I will clear it out and then it's gone. So if you like a message of mine and you feel like, wow, I may want to put this in my own little library and listen to it down the road when I hear that I'm a good candidate for Morpheus 8 or something else, but yet I don't have much fat, whatever. I'm not saying don't do things. I'm not against any of it. Not against any of it. Bring it on. Love it all. Love it all. I just think there's a time and a season in your season that ship may have sailed for you, so that you can go back and kind of just dial yourself in. I have videos saved in a library on different topics to reel it in for me, to dial it in. And a couple of them are on this exact topic. Because if I ever, for some reason, got that little slight persuasion itch that we often get, I'm going to go back and resource the tools that I have in my toolkit to dial me in. I'm not an impulsive shopper. I'm someone who thinks things through. If it cost over $1, practically, at least over $100, I'm going to put a lot of thought in that. I'm just not impulsive. So those tools, those videos can be great in helping me push past a, tug or pull that I'm feeling. So let me know. And again, you'll have 7 days to watch this, but if you'd like me to save it for a YouTube video, I will be happy to do that. I will put a photo in here upcoming with the little box for you to weigh in. But I could go on and on. The red light therapy masks, not against them, but you would have to do them daily. From the research I've done, you would have to do them daily in order to get the effects of them. If you're doing it 2 times per week or even 3, it's just not enough to make a dent. So again, it's the compound effect in knowing these things. And again, I'm not against them. I would probably be the type to do it every day. If I'm going to pull the trigger and buy something like that, a device, I'm going to use it every day, because otherwise there's just no ROI for me. But the influencers who are probably making bank and commissions that talk about them, they're not going to tell you that. And their video wouldn't be approved if they did, right? Think about it. If I produced a product like that and I knew that you had to have 5 days of use, I know that item probably isn't going to sell. That device isn't going to sell, because who has 5 or 7 days to use it, right? So they aren't going to tell you the little behind the scenes. Again, I have no leg in any of these things. I don't work with any brands. So I'm just going to paint a different picture, a different landscape, and tell you some of the truth that it's not that they're not telling you, it's they can't tell you because their video wouldn't be approved and they wouldn't make a sale. So always know there's a lot of buy-in people are looking for, and I'm no different. Again, I work in sales, but I sell coaching services. I sell programs and workshops to help you live the life you desire in whatever area. So can we talk skincare? Yes. Can we talk in-office procedures? Yes. Again, I don't advise. So I'm not a doctor, right? I'm not a doctor, but I am a 54-year-old woman. I have a lot of years under my belt. I've done a lot of research because I don't impulsively purchase things and buy things. So if something is on my radar, I'm going to put the work in to look into it. It's kind of like plastic surgery. I already know what I'm probably faced with, what I would be getting done because I know my own face. I know this map. And I would easily be able to go in and say, here's the concerns, here's what I'm looking for, here's the long term that I'm thinking about, here's the outcome that I want. I'm just going to lay it out there. There's no wishy-washy. It's just going to be laid out. Okay, thank you for being here. That was pretty long. Yeah, could make for a good video. So you let me know. Next clip will be a box for you to weigh in if you'd like me to save this, put it in a YouTube video so that you can put it in your little video library of Tracy's topics that you love so much that you need to revisit and help you dial in any decisions that you want to make. If I can save you some money, save you some time, save you some disappointment, because a lot of times you're going to end up being disappointed. And I've had some procedures I've done that just were disappointing, right? It doesn't mean they're bad. They just, for me, were disappointing because they really didn't work. Okay, next clip. Thanks for being here. Have a great Thursday if I don't see you again, and I probably won't because I have a long and busy day. Take care. Well, there you go. I would love it if you would weigh in. What are your thoughts? What are some of the treatments and procedures you've tried that, really it just didn't accomplish what your goal was when it came to maybe wrinkles, fine lines, laxity? I would love for you to weigh in because this is a great community where we can learn from one another. If you are interested in product links to the anti-aging products I use, I will have my most recent skincare video, which is not very old at all, and nothing has changed. That is what I'm using today. Go to the drop-down portion of that video, or if you click on the top link in the drop-down portion, it will direct you to the corresponding blog post, and you will see links to every product that I use and every tool. I also encourage you to watch that video because we take the makeup off and we do all of the skincare together. So that is a great source if you're wondering what it is that I use, what I love, and many of the products are drugstore, because that's not what's going to pack a punch, is often some of those things. It's the big bazookas that will pack the punch. And plastic surgery may be one of them. So let me know your thoughts. Thanks for being here, and I hope to see you on Sunday in the live coaching, and we can talk about this too. It's whatever you bring. I'm just there to coach, encourage, motivate, lift, address questions. You bring it to me, and I'll be happy to deliver. Thanks for being here. Have a great weekend. Take care.